Hey, what's going on, guys? Back with another episode of Aim with Purpose. You got my co-host Isaiah Smallwood, and today we have our very special guest Zion Ball. He is a longtime friend of Zay and a private exchange serial entrepreneur who also dabbles in the realm of commercial real estate. And today we brought him on just to talk about things he's working on, things he sees for the future, and what has happened since he left this place that we know as Northern Virginia.
Yeah, keep speaking into it. Sounds way better when you spoke into it.
Got you.
But yeah, what you been up to, Zion? Niggas about to catch up for real though, real quick through the episode.
It's been working. It's been a long last 3 years. Just getting my name out and feeding the industries. I honestly don't even know where to start, to be honest.
I bet I'm with you. I'm gonna steer the boat. Let me drive the boat. But no, I mean, me and Zion met at. You guys might not be familiar, but Nathan Mullis, that's my boy. We actually met at Nathan's crib in like 8th grade.
8th birthday party.
Yeah, his birthday. I was a wild nigga. I won't lie. I was pretty crazy in middle school.
Man, I had a peanut head back then. So, yeah.
That's funny.
No, I was just looking at videos from 2014 before you came. I was going through my Instagram. But we've known each other for a little while. And then we recently someone brought up his name. We were in the whip doing a little side mission, if you will, like an anime quest. And he brought up his name, and it hit like a flashback in my eye, like a That's So Raven scene. And I just remembered his name, and I was like, damn, let me see what he was up to. So now we're here connecting, and I'm just get right into it. So since 2020, I'd say everyone has had a up and down life, and everyone's learned from things. They've grieved, they've had all these things, but I feel like 2020 was a major turning point in history for everybody. So do you have any like kind of memory that really hits your head when it comes to like the start of 2020, like where you kind of took off from there?
Started 2020, so going from January, we're still in school then. I'll go on a month-by-month basis. So January, we're still in school. We hear a little bit about that COVID-19 thing. Yeah. People aren't really taking it as seriously then. They're just first really hearing the names in the news. Their parents are asking the questions about it and things. Come February, you're starting to get reported cases around the U.S. going on. Mm-hmm. Everyone's still like, this is just like chicken pox, or it's like the cold.
Facade, yeah.
Right, facade, perfect way to put it. Here we come to March, and it's the first discussion of school cancellations. And I remember I'm sitting in a sports marketing class at my senior year, and a teacher asked us how long we think we're going to be out of school, and I'd say about 2 weeks, and that's a Thursday. Friday comes, we get an email out saying first week cancellation. And at first, everyone's still a little bit happy per se, like, we get an extra break.
I was happy as
spring
shit.
Break. Yeah.
I was so happy. It was like a week. It was like 2 weeks before spring break, and I remember me and my friend Ethan Larda, shout out. We would play Warzone right when it came out, so we were religiously playing Warzone. And that just gave me more time to play the game and not focus on the future. Just lollygag and be a little senior in high school. So I do remember the before spring break, if you will. And then from there on, it was a 1 week break, and that shit turned into a fucking
2 week, then a month. And then after that month, they called it off.
I was in my first year at Nova, and it was spring break, and then just never going back. It was like checking the website like day after day after day after day, and it was like, well, we're gonna maybe come back, maybe not, maybe, and then it was like, all right, we're gonna just go full online rest of the semester. And it was like the biggest sigh of relief I remember at the time, because I was taking like 17 credits. Wow. That was blessed.
Yeah, so you felt you got some time back there.
And at that point, I mean, all my classes were in person, so the professors weren't prepared. The in-person professors weren't prepared to teach online at the time, because you had to think like Zoom blew up at that time.
Right.
So there was really like no, like it was new to everybody, students too. I remember doing music appreciation, like half falling asleep in my bed, like what the hell is this? I'm not taking this shit serious.
Yeah, I remember when school converted fully over to Zoom for us in high school. That was about me and my friend doing the same thing. Everyone had their cameras off on FaceTime, doing everything but school. Yeah. So
I was wilding out on Zoom my freshman year of college for sure, because I would cheat like shit. Yeah. But then I really wasn't learning anything, so then I had to really just apply myself and take the time to actually learn stuff. But then eventually I dropped out of college. But like, what'd you get into after that COVID lockdown? When did things start for you into becoming your entrepreneur self?
Okay, so I had done a little bit of affiliate marketing, just for seasonal events around, Northern Virginia, North Carolina. Niches were Halloween, Thanksgiving. People in there are familiar with Fright Night, so people posters around. I was helping market stuff like that. Doing Google advertising for some people, social media advertising for some small businesses on Instagram. I got into YouTube ads a little bit, and I had met somebody through my dad, thankfully, my mentor to this day, and he had got me into wholesale residential real estate. And another partner of mine, who I also want to give a huge shout out to, his name's Adrian. My dad had actually mentioned wholesale real estate a little bit to me before, but Adrian really had pushed it towards me. He had closed his first deal for like $37,000.
Wow.
Yeah, he had I remember it like yesterday. He had sent me a picture of this check, 37 grand, written directly to him. And from that very moment, I didn't even have
You put the mic up a little bit.
Oh yeah, I'd say I was probably doing affiliate marketing for a little over a year by that point, if that. So, I didn't build up 37 grand doing that. And seeing him get that clean check, it did something to my head.
A little fire under that ass, boy. For real.
I know the easiest way to put it.
My cousin, he was putting me on. He was trading in my senior year. He would trade in computer class and shit. And he tried to put me on, but I was young and ignorant, and I wouldn't listen to him. But until he showed me that blank check of making some money, and I was like, yo, like, it lit a fire under my ass. Like, I can do this too. I gotta figure it out. And that's how I was too.
With every day.
I agree. Same thing.
Yep. And he really, forced it to me. We got into non-performing assets, small buy and hold, little turnkey investments. But as far as on the residential real estate side at first, our target markets at first were Dayton, Ohio, Tuscaloosa, and Seattle, Washington, and Bellevue as well.
So are those places that are, I guess, not necessarily notorious, but I guess at the time that they have low prices, like low housing prices, or do they have the most upside?
To give you an idea of how we targeted our properties, so wholesale for people, it's there's two ways you could get a property per se, and there's a science behind it. So our niche, we targeted divorced couples.
Okay.
So, when people get a divorce, one person's usually leaving, the house is going up for sale, and they'll let it go for dirt cheap. You give them a cash offer, you can get it for $45,000 less. So we had court records, they're public access. We see who the recent divorcees in the market. We know their house is up for sale, and I had a software at the time. I could easily pull a homeowner's information just by getting their address. I give them a cold call, shoot them offer right there, and I work with a pool of 180 active hedge funds around the world. So. It was really easy to get a buyer for it at that super steal price because I just built their margins for them right there.
And then you would get a percentage of the deal that you essentially looked for, or the deal that you made.
We wouldn't do a fixed percent. For example, say a property was about $500,000 for mass simplicity. I'd shoot them offer for $440 grand. They'd buy it. Go to my client, say, hey, do you want this for $455? I make that 15 grand in between when they buy it.
You just arbitrage that. Okay.
You're assigning your contract right there. So you take the property under contract as long as you have a good relationship with escrow companies, your agent at the time representing you, of course. Well, take a step back. My mom also had really forced me to get my real estate license in Virginia, Maryland, Georgia, working on Oregon, California. So I still want to use that because I'm not a fan of paying agent commissions. I would have paid so much fucking money if I hadn't done that. So thankfully, I had my mom there giving me some knowledge to make sure I wasn't just wasting money with strangers.
Got you.
I feel like you joined at a perfect time when the wholesaling boom happened. So around this time when you started buying these properties, and your friend, I already forgot his
mentor
name. Adrian, yeah. So Adrian sent you that blank check. Around this whole time, when was this time period around?
This was October. I remember, like, literally yesterday. I want to say
October 2020.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Got you. Where were the where did it kind of, like, because you said all you need to see was that one check, like, what happened in the foreseeable
I
future?
stayed in his ear. So he was telling me this was wholesale. And I was like, okay, I'll get into it, being around the bush for time. Then he sends me that check, not even telling me what it's for. I knew. I knew that's the only thing he was doing. I see 37 grand written out to Adrian Dennis Bell, and this was the boy I just dapped up a couple days ago before I left. So it's just like, I'm there. And another thing too, high schoolers at the time, senior year, you care about the things that don't really matter as much.
Agreed.
But Adrian, he was rocking $4,000 shoes to school, like stuff like that. Earlier, only person doing that, getting legal money. And
he's the same age?
Yeah,
Adrian?
Same age as us. Yep. So he just always had a knack for it, and always taking notes with Adrian. I'm trying not to cite my references, but I was doing a lot of my own research on the internet, and I had met a lot of the right people. Of course, some things you can't really control.
Yeah, it's God.
Exactly.
God willing. Yeah.
Exactly.
This morning you brought up like you can't lead. Like I'd rather teach a man to fish than like just give him some fish. That's what they talked about this morning when I was learning at my service. Like that shit hit different because bro, I'd much rather learn to fish and do this for the rest of my life and feed
fed.
myself. Yeah, then get fed. Because at the end of the day, it just doesn't teach good habits.
Because what if the person that's feeding you dies? What do you do?
Yeah,
you're lost.
Yeah,
you're assed out.
Your part of you dies, if you will, because then you're lost.
Absolutely,
you're living off that person.
You don't have that side of you still there to take care of you, so you're shot yourself in the foot. But we progressed from residential real estate to commercial real estate about January
2021.
No, this is 2022. Yes, the times are so blurry, it's crazy. So about January 2022, we transitioned to commercial real estate. I had sold 8 units by this time.
Fire.
All target markets.
Let's go.
I had built up probably 117,000 by this time.
Respect.
Between
Nice.
117 and 125. And this is post taxes. It's no point in even listing how much I had to pay off outside of that. So yeah, it's super mad. That's another reason I got out of wholesale. So and there's a lot of people don't tell you about that end of things. Yeah, make sure you have great CPAs, great accountants, and great people around you just on the financial end that aren't going to make sure you're getting taken advantage of. Because one thing I'll tell you, these banks are in it for themselves. Agreed. And they'll tell you one thing, but once they get a hold of your money, it's too late.
Yeah, people don't live through abundance. Like people are out for themselves and they're very selfish at the end of the day in this world. So it's something you got to watch always.
Side note, I had an account with PNC. I had a private client account through PNC. My apologies. And I had gotten $16 million stuck through the wire because my dumb ass thought it was a good idea to get a Swift wire coming from Abu Dhabi to my checking account. So the fraud department's holding my wire for about 3-4 weeks. I'll show you guys a couple receipts of this. It's fucking crazy.
What?
Yeah, holding my money for about 3-4 weeks and then gets rejected. And then I gotta go send it to this guy called a paymaster at this time. He has to pay me increments of my own money. Yeah, but
so I feel like Sai's talking about that because you can't move like a certain amount of money.
It depends. So standard accounts, which believe it or not, you can move $49 million. You can't move 50.
When you say standard, you mean like a checking account? Or
yeah, you can. So of course there's certain banks like HSBC or UBS, United Bank of Switzerland, HSBC Toronto, Goldman Sachs, RIP Silvergate. Banks like that, you can easily move amounts like that. Fine. If you have a good relationship with your credit union or JP Morgan, I can't believe I left you out of there. If you have an account like there, you can easily send amounts like that. But of course, you're paying taxes on the money that hits your account. Yeah, goes out. Yeah, so it gets super messy when you're doing it like that. But I had financial advisors at this time too who were damn near robbing me. God.
For like
commission.
I was about to say.
So my financial advisors, they would accept my funds that so typically over $500,000 I couldn't have to go to my checking account. So if it was anything over $500 or anything over $499,000, it'd go to my financial advisor. He'd hold it in a trust account and then I get it sent over to me incrementally in like $25,000, $40,000 increments whenever I needed. But it gets super messy because when you're dealing with wire times and stuff, not everything's instant like people think, especially with those larger amounts. Yeah. So when you have repetitive 40 grand, 30 grand, 25 grand increments coming out and you don't have W-2s to back up what you do for work, they really watch your account.
Wow, that's so whack because it's your own money at the end of the day and it's legal money too.
Absolutely.
It's not even like
so the only thing we have for it is your assignment contracts. You're supposed to bring in your paperwork for the deal whenever you go to the bank and accept it. And this is just a code of conduct in the space. If you don't go to the bank when you get money sent to you, you deserve whatever happens to you because the bank's not gonna let you get your money. You just had over $1 million drop to your checking account. Why the hell would I release that to you? We could just leverage that on our own system and spend our own money off of it. Exactly. Yeah. So, for example, I like JP Morgan, but they're so fucking notorious for that shit. It makes me so mad.
Holding.
Oh my God. They'll hold it for like a day, but they literally only leverage it. And I'm really well connected with a lot of private bankers, Bank of America, shout out Don Lee. And he told me a lot of this stuff. So yeah, it's the banking world's really, really you gotta be an insider.
Yeah, and I mean we see that from what happened recently with SVB taking a hit, and then these it's I actually saw a couple more banks,
Silvergate, like Signature Bank. So I was partnered with Signature Bank through my exchange, and we do liquidations through Signature Bank. So we have to find another partner to liquidate some assets.
That sucks. Yeah,
so your money was moved from that bank to another?
So I'll break it down for you. So my online wallet, I have like 5-6 different cold wallets that I do for my assets or digital assets at least, and I have damn near every single hot wallet you can think of hot or online wallet you can think of. I have Kraken, Gemini. I had FTX. I was partnered with FTX and I was wholesaling with them for a long period of time before they shut down. Yep. I lost a lot of money through FTX. I'll get to that in a bit. That's a really good story. But Signature Bank was partnered through our primary exchange, Kraken, and I had about I had $422,000 stuck in Kraken. And when you're an OTC trader through those large accounts, you go through Signature Bank to do liquidations. They have a standard fee of $4 whenever you want to liquidate. But so all Signature Bank would do, since they're Web3 crypto friendly bank, they would just buy your assets back from you and send you a wire for it. So what did I do? I sold my assets and Signature Bank held all my money.
Wow.
Yeah. So I'm still waiting for that to get released.
That's crazy.
How long ago was that?
Last week.
Oh shit.
Yep.
Well, hopefully that all gets resolved. Yeah. For real though.
Man needs his money.
No, I can see all these because we were talking about these smaller banks collapsing. I can see more of them collapsing in the near future with all that's happening right now.
Absolutely. And the United States was in conversation with Warren Buffett yesterday about the banking crisis and everything. So I'm sure, they'll get it resolved. And USDC, infamous stable coin, known for being more reliable than Tether, plummeted down to 87 cents about a week and a half ago.
With the US?
Yep, backed by US dollar. Yep, USDC plummeted 87 cents about, don't quote me, 87 to 90 cents about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago.
Huge, though.
Yeah, for a stable coin,
cents.
right? And it's backed by the US dollar. So this should let you know what's happening.
One little side piece I learned the other day. I was watching a podcast. The amount of money that the FDIC has available to insure the deposits versus the amount of total deposited, it's crazy. It's so unproportional. The FDIC has 128 billion in
What's
protected.
What's the FDIC?
It's the so like when you put money into a bank and they insure up to 250,000. It's like if I put in, let's say 10K and the bank flops, I get my 10K back. But let's say I put in $1 million, I'm insured up to 250.
Okay.
Am I right so far with the FDIC?
It's different depending on I'm gonna get 8 cents back on my money with FTX and they weren't FDIC insured, but with Kraken being FDIC insured, I should get about $190,000 back.
Okay,
around there.
And that's how much of what was in?
422,000.
Okay, so it's about half.
A little less
than half.
A little less than half.
Like 40%.
But anyways, the FDIC, the amount that they have to insure the depositive amount of everybody that uses those banks, the public banks, is 128 billion compared to 9.9 trillion. So they only really have 1.8% insured. That's what I'm saying. Yep. Only have 1.8% insured of.
How do people read these numbers
across
and just
all
think
board?
This is like your life is justifiable? How do they allow these people to do this shit in your life?
I don't know, but. Yeah,
we shall see the powers turn. Hopefully, in the next couple of years.
So long live Signature Bank, Silicon Valley Bank, and I'll briefly touch on Silicon Valley Bank. So when Jim Cramer was talking about everyone should be buying SVIP, I sold all my shit. I swear to God, I sold every last bit
because the market reacts.
Jim Cramer's an idiot. Yeah. So when he told everyone to do something, I know to do the opposite.
Facts.
I've tried that before, and I swear they caught on to me, bro. It was like the gods knew I was lustful or something. No, I do. I was trading. Like I said, my cousin was trading in math class my senior year, or like computer science class, whatever it was. He was trading, and I've been blessed to be trading religiously for the last 3 years. I took a big hit in the start of 2022, but I just still stay kind of in the realm of trading. It's just what all my social medias are made up of. So whenever Jim Cramer says anything, if no one knows, he'll say some stupid shit. He'll say something very stupid that it's just out of the norm. Like it doesn't justify anything. Like it doesn't make sense.
He's an out of pocket guy.
Out of pocket, yeah. It's super out of pocket. And then the complete opposite will happen. So people started just inversing his plays, and then it became like a just running joke. But at the end of the day, you'd make money. You'd really make money.
You either save yourself, you make money, but you'll never lose money not listening to Jim Cramer.
Yeah, respect to that.
When he said buy tech, and the next day just bleeding.
Yo, yeah.
No, I swear to God, it was down 325% a week and a half after Jim Cramer told everybody to buy it.
Yeah, no, it plummeted that Thursday and Friday. Yeah, it plummeted crazy.
That's so wild.
I was not trading that week too. I came back and saw that the next day of them plummeting because they went from like 240 to like 117 overnight. Like overnight, they went from 240 to 170, and then in a day they collapsed like $60.
Yes, that's why I like to stick to what we do with the exchange more. Like what I was doing with FTX, I work with a large pool of miners who've been in Bitcoin since its white paper and ICO in 2009.
Oh, you mean like Bitcoin miners?
Yeah, gotcha. I'm really well connected with 3 of the largest miners on the planet right now.
Oh, snap! They got facilities.
So they have facilities in Henderson, Nevada, Kissimmee, Florida, and a location I can't disclose. But
I don't blame you, because I've seen like images and pictures and videos of these like mining rig, like not even just rigs, like
my guy Henry, he has plots of land across Nevada. It's not even a warehouse.
Dude, Nevada's nothing there besides Vegas, I feel like.
So watch this. He owns a solar power and utility holding company, and his solar power company funds his mining venture. So he has plots of land going across Vegas. Dude, he has like I almost said the number, but
a lot.
You can do the math right now. He has 134,000 coins.
Wow,
that's a dummy amount.
And we sold 30,000 of his coins last year.
Damn, at the peak.
Yep. So watch this. So what we do, since I'm really well connected with these guys, and since his solar power venture is super expensive, he needs to liquidate roughly 15% of his portfolio annually to stay afloat. So I'll sell off, that 30,000 coin of his at a discount. I'll market 3% discount. It's really a gross 5. I'll make 2% on the margins. The exchange, what we were selling to FTX at the time, they would get it at that minus 3% and resell to their clients at that number they see on the screen.
Oh, but at a loss. I mean,
so Henry needs to stay afloat, so he can't. It's really hard. So exchanges, you can't liquidate over certain amounts just super easily. You're capped at most of them. You're capped at about 2 million, some 5 million, some 10 million. Yeah, for crypto. So when you want to do an OTC trade, or we own OTC, that's which is a fancy word for private brokerage, and we can move money super there, ledger to ledger, decent wallet to decent wallet, really easily. I mean, we're moving billions with Kraken on a daily basis.
This is as a team, correct?
Just me.
Well, like you said, he has to keep himself afloat. So
solar power is a really expensive venture, and he needs to liquidate roughly 15% of his Bitcoin portfolio annually to stay afloat on the mining side for electricity bills.
Yeah, because it does.
So his Bitcoin sales will cover his electricity bills, so he can keep his mining venture flowing.
I got you.
Exactly. So his solar bill is paid for through his mining venture.
Oh, and that's 15%.
Of roughly, we'll calculate the 15% of what he has, so we know we need to sell off each year.
I got you. Wow.
So I'll go to my clients. I'm connected to a lot of exchanges, a lot of hedge funds, and I'll say, hey, do you want to buy some Bitcoin, like 500 or 1,000 or 2,000, 3,000 coins at once at a minus 3% discount? I'll make 2% on that. They get that minus 3%, and they resell at market price on the exchange.
Okay, got you. You want to loop back to where we were in the timeline of
we were in the top of 2022. January 2022. So we were I'm trying to think.
So January 2022, we just started venturing into commercial real estate. I had sold roughly 7 or 8 units in residential by this time on our target markets. Our first commercial real estate deal was the Mandarin Oriental in New York.
That's a hotel?
Yep. We had sold that for $290 million.
Wow.
Something around that ballpark. It was either 285, 290, somewhere in that warehouse.
Oh, see.
And we made 4% on that one, so it was a good day.
And that was that you and Adrian, or just you and a team?
It was me, Adrian, my colleague Jay Robbins at the time. Crazy enough, he ghosted me like 6 months after that.
Bad karma.
It's crazy karma. He's doing well too, but he got in his feelings about something. I won't get into that.
Yeah, respect to him. No, I get what you're saying. So we were at the top of 22. So we went from that sale in New York, and then where did we branch off after that?
From the sale in New York, we had started venturing into non-performing assets because we could finally afford to purchase our own deeds. We didn't have to go through other hedge funds to cover this. So for those who don't know what a non-performing asset is or how to wholesale non-performing assets, if you have, for example, say you paid or your house $500,000, you have $470,000 paid down, you have a remaining $30,000 left. An investor could come in and pay off that $30,000 for you, and now they own the deed to your property. So now they can determine whether it's not really, but they can determine. They don't own the property. They can just determine the use for it, whether it's mixed use, medical use. But you don't own. You own the building, not you don't have the rights to actually live in. It's a tricky thing.
Okay, I got
but
you.
A lot of people, that. The type of building also dictates the cash flow through it, as you know. So medical space will generate more than residential real estate because you're just playing the equity game with residential real estate. Versus medical lease spaces, I could lease this to somebody for $20,000 a month. Versus, someone just pays this off for $500,000 once. Now they have full equity in it.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah, okay. I'm thinking like a hospital, but you're saying
so
like
someone could literally purchase this house right here.
Yeah.
Say there was $50,000 left on the house. Someone could pay off that $50,000 for you. They have the deed for the house and do a little maintenance and fix up. They could change it to a medical use.
So does the deed not go to the person who originally bought the house?
They pay it off. So it's a deal. You're negotiating with them, of course, but it's a non-performing asset at the time. And usually people are marketing off like, hey, I need help paying this off. So someone will come in and say, hey,
I'll save you, and you just give me the deed.
Exactly.
Okay. I got you. I'm picking up what you're putting down now. Okay. Yeah, I was thinking like, how are you going to buy a space for a hospital?
See, that's the big difference. So if you want to own like the actual place, you're paying millions. If you just want the deed, you can just pay off whatever they owe left on it, and now you're determining what they can use that shit for. I could chop up this 100,000 square foot hospital and break it up into, a 1,300 unit complex if I had the funds for rehab.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying now. Yeah. You just pay off. Oh, okay. That's lit.
Yeah, so we got into non-performing assets, performing assets, just normal wholesale. Our second commercial real estate deal, I want to say it was the Panorama Tower down in Florida. We had sold that for, it was like $100 million, something like 100 or 120 million. I have to check the contracts, but it's about, so let's say 110 million just to be in the middle. We made smaller margins on that. I think that was like 1.7%. Still a good day, but we had less people on the deal, so it was a good one. A really important thing for wholesale, where you get your leads is vital because, in anything, no one wants to buy something that everyone has seen. You kind of want the exclusive deal. You want
something unique.
Exactly. And so it's the same thing with all these. I already know what you're thinking. It's the same thing.
It's the same thing.
Same thing with all these investors. I don't want something everyone else has seen.
Facts.
I don't want the price that he got. So that's a very important thing, and then that just comes back to your relationship with people, because I could be like, hey, I know that this has been shopped around on Zillow for a little bit, but I'm right next to the the broker or liaison for the property. We can close on this in 2 weeks easily if you want to do it, and it could be at their asking price right there. And just because that's somebody you've closed 2 deals.
We had a little audio complication, but we're just going to continue the episode from here and finish on the rest of the story with Zion. But we were after the Trump sales.
Yep.
So right after with the Trump sales, how you sold those towers.
Okay. Yep. We had sold the 16-unit Trump Tower property portfolio around northern hemisphere of the world. Just trailing from there, I'd say the deal after that was the Hank Aaron Apartments. We had sold for like $401 million. Made, I think that was my first deal I made over $500,000 at once.
That's fire shit.
That is crazy. And that was based off percentage, like all these.
Yep. Yeah. So their commercial deals are always broken up by percents because there's a lot more money involved and there's more brokers, liaisons, tenants, everyone in that process gets paid. Attorneys, so
Oh wow! So the money really.
Exactly. It's very written down. You have so much more paperwork. For example, so on residential real estate, all you need is a simple purchase and sale agreement, assignment of contract agreement, affidavit, a memorandum to make sure you get paid, your title or escrow agreements, and you're right there, and you can close a deal if you have all the pieces in place.
Yep.
But
How long does it take to usually close these deals for the commercial?
Say they already signed off on the property and they're
Hold on,
already in the
closer.
escrow. Say they're already signed off on the property, and they're already in the escrow office to close that given date. They send a wire. It can take like 2 weeks, 3 weeks to hit your account, and then that's all the way closed. But watch this. So you get a contract executed with your client, and you'll put the closing date for 30 days away from your contract execution date. So say you get the contract completed January 1st, your closing date is January 30th. Up until the time between, you get all your inspections, HVAC, and like all that, everything entailing through the property, you're getting done during that time period. You open escrow when you're prepared, and then you just know it's going to be about a week and a half to 3 weeks before you get that money in your account from the escrow company.
Wow. Okay.
So typically it's about a month and a week from start to finish.
That'd be testing my patience to the max level for sure.
That's why I liked crypto so much more. We could close, a $3 billion deal in a day. IRS has no idea. You make fucking $40 million on the deal, and you could stop for the year.
So,
because of the time, my bad, Zay. But
Exactly.
the time to the wire transfer.
Tether hits 5-10 minutes, and IRS has
XRP.
no idea. Yeah. Fuck Ripple. Just side note. Fuck Ripple. I lost so much money in that shit.
there's a thing I want to bring up later once we end this. I want to bring up something that's supposed to happen tomorrow. But so we talked about the commercial real estate. You keep bringing up crypto. When did you start getting into crypto and diving your hands, getting a little wet, and then you jumped in the full pool? When did you start really getting into crypto, and then that kind of based from there?
So I had some small holdings, throughout my real estate, just fucking around with money.
Just investments?
Yeah, just dumb shit. So I had about 4 coins around, prior to 2022, I know I had 4 coins. My dad got me into it. Yep, Bitcoin. Okay. Only thing I had like fucking $50 in Tether. I just literally just buying shit to see it work. Yeah, I was just buying shit to see it work. But I was holding about 4 coins at the time. I remember I got one of my deals paid out to me in Bitcoin, and I had met a client, or I shouldn't say a client, a colleague through there. I don't know if I should say his name, but
John Doe.
Yeah, John Doe. And he was on the escrow side of the agency, and he was really adamant about me getting paid out in Bitcoin. This was prior to the first bull run where it peaked at 69,000. And
that's so funny. You peaked at 69,000, right? 420,
right? Like, come on,
that's just a joke.
Literally, it's crazy. The fucking Doge just skyrocketed at the time too. So
that was crazy.
Oh my lord.
So you got paid out in Bitcoin?
Yep, I got paid out in Bitcoin. It was a small deal at the time, but got paid out in Bitcoin. And Eric, he had owned his own ACH, or Eric and Evan, I said their name, fuck it. They had owned their own ACH and payment processing company out in Lansing, Michigan, Innopay Inc. Evan Rogers, a great guy. Eric, I won't disclose his last name, but they had got me and took me under their wing, and really got me into the financial spectrum of things. Innopay was split up into 2 things. They marketed what they did for payment processing, and they did payment processing for cannabis, esports, and payment processing for cannabis, which I'll touch on briefly, which I'm kind of passionate on right now. So marijuana is still legal on a federal level right now. We developed a third-party banking system that will process debit card transactions for these dispensaries up and down the West Coast, because they're mostly cash-based.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, so all dispensaries are cash-based on the West Coast, outside of like the major ones like Cookies, Backpack, and all those Turtle Pie, those guys. Yeah. So we developed a third-party ATM that'll process debit card transactions for them.
ACH or ATM?
It's ATM. Oh, so ATM. You don't know if you know the apps like Leafly and Weed Maps. We developed like a portable device we can bring with them. They can just tap on when they get their weed dropped off to them.
Okay, kind of like a Square.
Basically.
Gotcha.
We use kind of like the same software as Square, but I don't know, we'll touch to it.
Yeah, that's dope, bro. Because I didn't even talk about going the route of entrepreneurship, solving a problem for people.
Yep.
And
So I remember my friends, you know, they go to the dispensary, and you know, they only have their card with them. You know, I have money on my card, but I can't get what I want from the place. It's super frustrating, and not every place has an ATM inside, so you got to drive, 2 miles. It's inconvenient.
Yeah.
So already knowing people in the ACH processing space, I knew people who were also developing ATMs out in New Jersey.
Wow.
So it was
Why
an
New
easy.
Jersey?
Just where they had the warehouse. I don't know why
okay.
New Jersey specifically, but I could easily get machines at a wholesale cost and get them programmed through our ACH processing company.
Oh,
So
like
my pieces just
specific-
tied in together really well.
Oh, okay. You're just kind of taking this.
So
taking that.
I get 1% off of every dispensary transaction. Hopefully the last time.
Wrap it up, then.
What is the what next question we getting into?
I mean, so do you want to finish that story? Because we had one more audio complication, so we just wanted to not leave you guys hanging. So we just want to finish the story, just wrap it up. How did you get into crypto overall? So,
Okay. So yeah, really my colleague Eric and Evan from Innopay really got me into crypto heavy. They had introduced me to my largest client at the moment, Henry Fataki out in Nevada. That's my miner. He's the guy who changed my life for sure. He gave me my first and largest deal. I sold off 3,000 coins. I made just south of like $5 million.
Damn.
And in
nice.
that day, the start of that day, I did not have $1 million. So it was a quick thing for me, and I learned very quickly the power of digital assets, how they move.
it's the future, bro.
Oh my lord!
Everything's going to be digital if you have no choice to.
Absolutely, the government's trying to come out with their own CBDCs to neutralize Bitcoin.
You're already knowing. I'm trying to talk about. That's what I was going to bring up in the garage. There's something that comes out tomorrow. It's like a POP. It's something.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'll bring it up later. But so when around was this time when you got into crypto? Was this after the wholesale sales in 2022?
This is after wholesale. So my first crypto deal was May 2022, right
Active.
before that Jasmine shit.
Oh,
Yeah.
We don't fuck with Jays. That's John Doe. We don't bring her up. So we did chop it up. We chopped it up briefly. I'm sure you might be back on in the future to not have a fuck up pause in between episodes. But just to wrap it up, do you have any like future advice for real estate entrepreneurs, whether it's from your own experiences and the hiccups that you had on your path, or it's just things you're looking for in the future? Is there just a general advice you would give to people starting out?
The best piece of advice I'd give: stay persistent. Don't listen to any outside noise. I mean, with real estate, it's an opportunity thing, so you want to make sure you're getting it at the right time. Make sure you know the avenue you want to get in at, because you could come in as a small scale investor, you could come in on a joint venture, you could come in trying to wholesale, you could be a listing agent, you could be trying to buy non-performing assets. I mean, there's so many different avenues, and most of them don't require a real estate license. People don't know. So I would just make sure you know what you want to get into. Make sure you have a little bit of collateral, just in case anything goes south. And this is one thing too. A lot of these guys on social media, want to get you involved in a lot of things. And the truth is, if they're telling you something works, 99% of the time it doesn't, because people don't want to share stuff like that.
Facts.
You got to really have a relationship with people. The guy who wants to put you on isn't on your Instagram timeline.
Okay. So more of a mentor rather than a figure.
Absolutely.
Got you.
No, and that's staying persistent, I feel like, is a big one for people, because even for me, staying persistent is a big one, because you can give up on your dreams so easily.
Exactly.
Listening to outside noise or just the internal noise where you guess yourself and just put yourself down. I feel like staying persistent is a big one for me, because it just teaches you not to give up.
Mm-hmm.
Teaches you to get going when get going when it's hard, whatever that saying is. Get going when it's rough or whatever and shit. I feel like that's a big one I've learned the last couple of years, because at the end of the day, without persistence, you're just going to end up in the same spot as you were before.
And another thing, don't expect people to support you, you know? That's a lot of things people, you know, don't understand. Your dreams are your dreams, not everybody else's, and no one sees through the same lens as you do. No one knows, you know, the life you've walked and what you can endure, what you've been through. So if you believe you're capable of something, 99% of the time you are, because no one else knows that but you. It's not your parents, it's not your best friend, it's not your girlfriend, it's you. So as long as you place the chips on yourself, you should be good to collect them if you place all your eggs in one basket, because if you place all your eggs in one basket properly, you're not going to let yourself fail.
Yeah, and you can never gauge what your full potential is until you put in that persistent effort, because you will always underestimate what you can do in, let's say, 5 years, but you'll at the same time overestimate what you can do in 6 months.
Exactly. For me, I thought, you know, it would have taken me my whole life to get where I am now, and maybe, you know, if you would have told me 6 months ago I'd be where I am now, I wouldn't believe it. If you told me last month I'd be where I wouldn't believe it. So not even talk about 2 years time. Work is work, and you know the cliche work smarter not harder, it's real. And one thing my first mentor told me, time and money create a symbiotic circle. You're doing one or the other to get one or the other. You either give money for time or you give time for money.
That's a gem.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like with your situation, you know, the last 2 years, I feel like a common or a consistent habit that you had was just having faith in yourself.
Absolutely. I've been betting on myself for as long as I can remember. You know, one thing my dad drilled in us as a kid was something to prove. You know, I had wristbands, you know, family brands, something to prove merch. I got hats, something to prove merch, you know.
I've seen that before somewhere. What the hell?
Probably Idly.
Might be, actually. I don't know. Somewhere in Leesburg.
Always been rocking at people, you know, like some of my friends have this shit. Still see some people wearing it, but you know, it's been something, you know, I really live by. And for me now, I don't feel like I have anything to prove. I feel like I proved it, but
you have more to prove for yourself.
Exactly. You know, I proved everything 2 years ago to everybody else, you know, and now I have the rest of my life to prove shit to myself.
And they'll look at you like, man, why are you still going? You got it. You
I got
made
people
it.
telling me I should have retired last year.
They're envious because they want to be in that position as you.
They want you to stop so they can try to catch up, but good luck.
Can't catch up to me now.
Nah, for real.
Leaving them in the dust.
Doing laps like you saying.
Yeah.
Nah, there were some gems on here, and I'm dead ass down to do another episode in the future.
Yeah.
Or
schedule. Whenever.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, if you're still up in the area, we can do something for sure.
Dude, I'll come by whenever.
Yeah, I mean, nigga, I'm down a link for real. I'm trying to get out of here at the end of the day and just grow as a individual. I feel like all of us in this room have grown in the last 3 years, and at the end of the day, if we stay persistent and have faith in ourselves, I don't see anyone in this room being stopped. And I not even just for the people in this room, just everyone that I know. There's a lot of people I know that just don't have the faith in themselves, and it all starts there. And it's just, once you just believe in yourself, have the faith, and just go within and focus on the things that you truly want, I don't see anyone stopping anything at all.
Exactly. I mean, once you believe in yourself all the way, you know, Big Lee said, there's nothing that's stopping you. I got to walk my shoes every day. No one else has a repercussion for my action but me.
You allow yourself for things to stop you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Because you're not focusing on the self.
You pick your obstacles. Like, I realized that, you know, as of recently, you know, you put up with what you allow.
Oh, yeah, facts. Facts. And whether it's for
I don't put up with
bad,
shit.
whether it's for, you know, dealing with something that is, you know, weighing on your mental because you think it'll have an outcome that you're thinking will work out when it's not even realistic. It's like you gotta know when to cut ties, and then at the same time, like, you're the author of your own book.
Exactly.
So you can choose whatever you do, but just make sure that whatever time you invest, whatever willpower you invest, it's something that builds you up to something that you dreamt of as a kid.
Exactly.
Or an image in your mind that you want to get to. Because, I mean, with social media all around us, we all have things to compare to. But I look at it like, you know, kind of tune it out and look towards what is my full potential. Kind of like I said before, you always underestimate. Like, I'll never know what I'll be if I really put my mind to it. And that's the best part.
I used to look up to, you know, fucking rappers. You know, I could piss a rapper's salary.
Yeah.
Just look up to like LeBron James and shit. Fuck.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's ridiculous.
It's crazy what self-confidence and what just straight willpower, drive, direction, purpose,
just faith, bro. The shit that the Bible talks about, just staying to those principles, bro, is really just goes a long way.
Absolutely.
Even if you don't look into those type of things like your relationship with God or religion, whatever you want to call it, if you just live by your means and go within and listen to what you have to say, I feel like we said, we're just going to talk about it again. It's just nothing's going to stop you. Like, you truly just have to live by your own accord, and not anyone else's.
Exactly. If you live by anyone else's accord, you're doing yourself a disservice because now you're going by their potential and not yours.
Facts.
Yep.
No, this is a great episode, guys. I do want to thank you guys for all listening. We're going to have this guest on in the future. I don't really doubt that at all. I hope everyone has a wonderful day and listening. So without further ado, I'm out of here. I'm about to go to hit the bathroom and hit the bed. You feel me? So y'all have a good night, man. I'm out.
Peace out.